Ministers are reportedly considering sending asylum seekers here in Britain to a remote island over 4,000 miles from the UK in another ploy to stop the boats. This volcanic island, Ascension Island it's called, it was used as a strategic military base during the Falklands War, and the RAF do continue to operate there. Now, this has been described as a radical plan B for if the Rwanda scheme was ruled unlawful by the Supreme Court. So is it a real possibility or just a rumour? What is life on the Ascension Island actually like? Will it be safe? Do people even mind that at this point? Some quarters seemingly not. Joining me to discuss all of this, Rusty Firmin, SASB squadron veteran who spent time training on that island back in 1982. There's a picture of young Rusty there. He also played an integral role in the Iranian embassy siege of 1980. There was the famous picture of the man without the gloves during that famous siege in London. A lot of our viewers will remember that. Good to have you in the studio, Rusty.
Thanks for the invite.
Well, you know what? We just wanted a conversation with you generally because it's always interesting to talk with a man that's had the career you've had, but particularly off the Ascension Island. Proposal, because you've been there. First off, just what's it like?
Well, it's a long time since I've been there. Obviously, 1982 when the Falkland Island conflict was on. But it's big and spacious, and I think the migrants would love it there.
Do you really?
Absolutely love it. Yeah, just have a whale of a time, you know, with the ocean there and everything
What's
else.
there to do?
Nothing.
Yeah, right. So what makes you think they'd love it?
So that's what they're doing here, isn't it? They come here and they don't do anything apart from collect the money and get housed. Why not go there? Put the barges off all the way around the Ascension Island, 88 square kilometres, put it down there, loads of room, very much like their climate, not far from Africa, 4,000 miles from us. I defy them to get in a dinghy and come from Ascension Islands to the UK and make it.
Now, that is a view that people in this country do share. I appreciate that. I'm not here to tell you you're wrong. I have a different opinion of how we should handle migrants, particularly given that the Rwanda scheme, which is failing through the courts at the moment, it was found that the cost of sending one migrant to Rwanda would be £169,000 per migrant, which is £63,000 more than keeping them in the UK. I'm not saying keep all migrants in the UK, but we do have to have a better scheme for processing rather than just sending people elsewhere, surely.
Yeah, well, let's process them down there, take them down there. Okay, at the moment, we've got our borders to secure, right? The two things that Suella Braverman are letting go are the very two things she's in charge of. The force areas should be kept secure and our borders. But we're letting people in who aren't, you know, they could be from anywhere, any background, predominantly fighting male age, all coming across here. Why not send them there, process them there properly? I didn't mean stay there forever and a day. Process them, and then when you're ready, bring them in and have a system that works.
Does that not sound astonishingly expensive and complicated to you? Because getting everyone over there, a processing centre, currently there's 800 people living on the island. They're not even citizens, they're not allowed to be. There's a British overseas territory and they're temporary residents, essentially. There's barely any buildings, there's barely any infrastructure. As you said, there's basically nothing there. So you want to set up an asylum processing centre over on Ascension Island?
Yeah, let them go there. Set up a bit of an infrastructure for them. I say they're not going to be there forever, but don't bring them here. They're fighting all the way around the UK. People don't want them. Bring them in when they're ready to come in, as many as you need, but don't overdo it. Give our borders a rest and give somebody else the pleasure of having the migrants.
I mean, it's still our work. It's a British overseas territory. It's not handing them over to a different country. Rwanda scheme is handing them to somebody else, but also ensuring there is housing and jobs. Ascension would just be creating an offshore processing centre in the middle of the South Atlantic.
Yeah, but that's fine. Rwanda, if they don't want them, they're not going to go there, are they?
Rusty, I don't think you and I are going to agree on this one at all.
Well, you know, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, it is.
That's why I'm here.
It is why you're here. I just find it interesting from a military man, somebody who has been so involved in logistics for so long, that you think that would be a rational proposal to this situation.
How many migrants are there?
I mean, thousands, tens of thousands all the time.
There we go.
A lot of people in this country would agree there is an issue. Controlled immigration is an issue in this country.
Well, let's try and help it. Let's see if it works. Let's not rule it out. You know, if it's going to cost that amount of money to get them there, then, and it can be processed properly, is that not better than maybe making our borders not secure?
I
The
think a
people
lot
we
of
don't-
people would agree with secure borders, whether or
Yeah.
not you want to do that in the South Atlantic on a tiny island at great cost to the British taxpayer.